demand justice for Renee Good. My name is Nakima Levy Armstrong. I am a civil rights attorney, an activist, as well as the founder of the Racial Justice Network. Early on in my career as a lawyer, I spent time representing women who had experienced domestic violence and victimization along with their children. And I saw the pain that many women experienced. I saw how they were treated a lot of times in the court systems, having their pain and trauma be disregarded, and how they had to fight hard just to have their voices be heard. And so to see the situation that we experienced 1 week ago today, and to see a woman's voice essentially be silenced as a result of state-sanctioned violence, is why we are all here today saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. Renee should have been able to make it home to her 6-year-old son. So we're going to hear from a variety of speakers today from different backgrounds. We're also going to be blessed with a wonderful music performance. But to open us up, Pastor Maria Perry is going to lead us in prayer. Let's welcome her.
This is different because I got my back turned toward who I want to speak to, because this is powerful. We talk about waiting in the spirit for women, but God, we're just gonna go in. God, I thank you for bringing us here today together. I'm asking that you hold us up strong, God. That you hold us up strong as we stand here to be a voice for Renee, God. That you move us with authority and power right now today, God, because we need you. We didn't come here to play. We didn't come here to take and say the name, to not say the name. We are saying her name today, God. We are standing here to lift up her name because that's who we are. We are strong women. We are bold. We are fierce. And this is something that we need, God. We can't do this without you, Lord. So we need you to lift us up, keep us together, and hold us strong today, God. We need to continue to use the voice to beat down and dismantle the enemy. And this is not how love shows up. And we are here today to break the barrier, to move mountains, God. I'm saying equip us and build us up so we can roll in the spirit. We are women that are ready to roar. Yes. We are ready to roar and take down the city with our prayer. We need us today, God. This is not the day to play. This is your time and our time. We are women and we believe that all things can change through prayer. We believe that today and right now, God. Yes. Right now, God. We need you today. We need you to keep us strong. We need you, and we're waiting in the spirit to hear our cries and to hear our prayers, God. That baby that has to sit with this burden every day, not just because it has to sit on TV, but just hearing the stories. This child is going to be traumatized. And we need to stand up as mothers to be there for the family. That's right. This is not okay, God, and we need you. So as you stand here uplifting each other, sharing how we feel and the reasons why we're here today, keep us protected. Keep us covered in love. Because that's the thing that is going to break the assignment that the enemy has out here right now. This is not okay. So hold us up. I thank you. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Maria. That was so powerful. And that's exactly the prayer that we need. The prayer of a roaring mother in the midst of all that we're up against. And you all have seen the lies that have come from the federal government in the aftermath of Renee Good being killed. And thankfully, we have women amongst us who are telling us, don't buy the lies. We have a powerful original song that will be performed by the incredible Thomasina Petrus and Kashimana Ahua called Don't Buy the Lie. Let's welcome them.
Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, I got my head in my hands. Oh, you got me thinking. Sometimes I don't understand why you want me drinking. I got my head in my hands. Oh, you got me fussing. 'Cause you done upped up my plans. Now you got me cussing. Why you want me naked? Why you want me bruised? Why you want me frightened? Hopeless and confused. Don't mind the lie. It's gonna cost you too. 'Cause when they hurt me, yeah, they hurt you. We're all connected. Can't you see? None of us are free till all of us are free. You don't care who I am. You don't wanna know me. You just wanna cause harm. Told the world you'd show me. You ignore what is true. Rather be blind and see me. But the shame is on you. 'Cause you could never own what's always been free. So afraid to face it. So afraid of truth. Mother's nursing hatred. What's this world coming to? Don't buy the lie. It's gonna cost you too. 'Cause when they hurt me, yeah, they hurt you. We're all connected, yeah, yeah. Can't you see? None of us are free, no, no, till all of us are free. I hold my heart in my hands, dreaming of what could be. A world with no violence, no one's going hungry. No, no, no one's in addiction. No one's dying young. Every life is sacred, more sacred than your gun. Don't find the lie. It's gonna cost you too. 'Cause when they hurt me, yeah, they hurt you. We're all connected. Oh yeah. Can't you see? None of us are free. No, till all of us are free. Yeah, none of us are free. Till all of us are free. Everybody say it with us. None of us are free. Till all of us are free. Thank you.
That was so powerful, them another rousing round of applause. That was incredible. That's what we have to remind ourselves of when we see these media reports, when we see what's happening from the federal government. Don't buy the lies. Don't buy the lies and the manipulation. We stand for truth. So we're here because 1 week ago, Renee Good was killed, and the man who killed her, ICE agent Jonathan Ross, is still free. Renee Good was a mother of 3. She was a wife, she was a poet, she was a queer woman, she was a beloved Minnesota resident, and a United States citizen. She was shot in the face while sitting in her car, unarmed and not accused of any violent crime. After she was shot, no immediate aid was rendered. This is a tragedy, and it was entirely preventable. This is violence against a woman. And it did not happen in isolation. Right now, today, women, mothers, children, people with disabilities, and community members are being abused during ICE encounters. We have all seen the videos. Agents breaking car windows, cutting seat belts, dragging women from their vehicles. No imminent threat, no justification, just force, because they can. What is just as disturbing as ICE's behavior is what happens next. Nothing. No intervention, no protection, no accountability. Local law enforcement stands by. State authorities hesitate. Federal agencies close ranks. And the people, especially women, are left exposed. Let me be very clear. When law enforcement watches abuse and does nothing, that is not neutrality. That is complicity. We pay for these institutions. Our tax dollars fund the police, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and the National Guard. These systems exist to protect people, not to protect federal agents from scrutiny, not to protect careers, and not to protect property while human beings are being brutalized. And because Governor Walz and Mayor Jacob Fry have failed to protect us, we are left to fend for ourselves. So we ask the question our communities have been forced to ask again and again. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Governor Walz has the authority to act. He has activated the National Guard, but to protect buildings. He also has the power to direct the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to conduct a state-led independent investigation into the killing of Renee Good, using the evidence that already exists. Yet the superintendent of the BCA, Drew Evans, has refused to lead that investigation unless the federal government cooperates. That is unacceptable. When federal prosecutors themselves resign, as we saw yesterday, rather than participate in a politically motivated investigation targeting a widow instead of the agent who killed Renee Good, it should be clear to everyone that federal cooperation is just not coming. Governor Walz, Drew Evans work for the people of Minnesota. If Drew Evans refuses to do his job, if he refuses to investigate the killing of a Minnesota resident based on the evidence already in hand, then he should be fired. Period. Allowing insubordination at this moment places Minnesotans in greater danger every day that passes without accountability. And this is where we must speak honestly about Democratic leadership. Yes, Democratic officials have issued statements. They have criticized the false federal narratives. They have expressed concern. The Attorney General and the County Attorney have announced a joint review. But here's the truth people feel in their bones. We've seen rhetoric without results. Not a single ICE agent has been arrested for violating Minnesota law. Not a single one. No clear timeline has been given for a real investigation. No concrete protections have been put in place for women and mothers facing brute force by ICE. This is not a lack of power. This is a lack of political will. When elections come, Democrats will ask for our votes. As women, as mothers, as people who care about justice, we have every right to ask in return, what have you done with the power we already gave you? Leadership is not measured by press conferences, it's measured by action. Especially when action is hard, especially when it risks confrontation with federal authority. If you cannot protect women from violence, if you cannot hold officers accountable when they violate the law, if you cannot act when a mother is killed in broad daylight, then you should expect to be challenged publicly, persistently, and without apology. The Trump administration has treated Renée Good's life as disposable, distorting the facts, rushing to grant immunity, and constructing false narratives to justify the unjustifiable. That is cruel and it is dangerous. But delay, deflection, and excuses from those who claim to be our allies is also dangerous. Renee's last acts were acts of solidarity and kindness. She stood with her immigrant neighbors. She did not harm anyone. She did not threaten anyone. She was a mother returning from dropping her child off at school. Her death demands more than words. So today, we, the women of this community, the mothers of this community, demand the immediate arrest and charging of ICE agent Jonathan Ross. We demand a state-led independent investigation without waiting for federal permission. We demand real, enforceable protections for women and mothers who encounter ICE agents. And we demand real leadership. Leadership that chooses courage over convenience. Let me end with this. History teaches us that injustice is rarely defeated by its loudest abusers alone. More often, it is sustained by those who claim to oppose it while asking us to wait, to trust, to be patient, to accept process in place of protection. We're told this is being responsible. But when women are being brutalized, when a mother is killed, when power is available and unused, delay is not moderation, it is violence by omission. We are not confused, we are not unreasonable, and we are not fooled. We know the difference between power and the refusal to use it. We know the difference between leadership and performance. And we know that justice does not arrive on its own timetable. It arrives when people of conscience demand it and refuse to be pacified by words, even if there are curse words. finally, we will not trade our safety for your comfort, our lives for your careers, or our votes for your excuses. We will remember who stood up, who stood aside, and who hid behind rhetoric while harm continued. And we will keep demanding action, not later, not after another review, not after another election, but now. Justice delayed is justice denied, and we are done waiting. That's right. Thank you. Next, we will hear from Michelle Gross, President of Communities United Against Police Brutality and one of the longest standing champions for justice in this community. Please welcome Michelle Gross.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Gross, MICHELLE-GROSS, and I am President of Communities United Against Police Brutality, a statewide organization in our 26th year. The killing of Renee Good feels somewhat personal to me, and I'm truly heartsick about it. My own daughter is exactly the same age as Renee was when she was killed. Further, my family is multi-ethnic, and the people of color in my household are frightened, literally afraid to leave our house due to the way that ICE is racially profiling people. I'm absolutely sick of the terror ICE is causing within my family and in our community. Even now, agents have threatened to kill observers who engage in First Amendment protected activities, such as using whistles to warn the community or videotaping ICE activities. And again, these are First Amendment protected activities. We are literally living in a war zone created by our own federal government. Yet local law enforcement continues to refuse to take action, any action, when ICE agents violate state laws and abuse people's rights. There is good legal precedent that makes it clear that local law enforcement can arrest ICE agents for excessive force and other violations of state statutes. In the case of the Minneapolis Police and the St. Paul Police, their city separation ordinances and their own policies, in fact, require them to intercede and make these arrests. So why aren't they doing so? MPD Chief Brian O'Hara claimed it's because, quote, ICE has more firepower than they have. This sounds very much like the excuse they used when they waited 5 days to arrest John Sawchak, the man who shot Davis Maturi. But that's a bogus excuse, because MPD is not the only local law enforcement agency in the city. We have Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, UMPD, we have Park Police, state troopers, and others. We're in emergency mode right now. We are in an emergency. Local law enforcement needs to coordinate efforts to treat this as the emergency that it is. Finally, it's utterly ridiculous that a man who killed someone on video and in front of many witnesses is still walking around free. If that person was anyone other than an ICE agent, they would have been arrested. They'd be sitting in jail awaiting a trial. Clearly, John Ross poses a very real danger to our community, and he needs to be apprehended. Further, arresting him now would be a deterrent to the other ICE agents who are running around telling people we're above the law. The community is doing our part. We're out here whistling and following ICE and delivering food to our neighbors and doing all the things we need to do to take care of our neighbors. But we can only do so much. We pay taxes for law enforcement to protect the community, and we demand they get to it now. Arrest John Ross and start interceding and arresting all federal agents who abuse members of the community. Do it now!
on something Michelle said. Arrest Jonathan Ross. 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 Arrest Jonathan Ross.
That's probable cause. The videos
Come on back up. Come on, girl. Come on.
to arrest somebody, the legal standard is probable cause. Those videos and those witness statements are well beyond the usual probable cause they need from any time. And the fact that they refused to arrest him, I spoke to law enforcement last night about this issue, and they said, well, you know, it's law enforcement, so we have to be a little extra careful. That is bull. You have probable cause. That man should be sitting in jail right now. We demand they arrest him immediately.
These are the kinds of demands we have to place. We cannot allow delay. We cannot allow ambiguity and excuses. They trade on the public's ignorance, right? But we're not ignorant. We see exactly what's happening, and we are demanding an arrest now of Jonathan Ross. Next, we're going to hear from Jess Sundin, who is a leader in the movement for police accountability from Twin Cities Coalition for Justice. Let's welcome Jess Sundin.
Thank you, Nikila. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Terrible reason to have to be here, but some 15 years ago, I was a lesbian mom driving up Portland Avenue or Park Avenue after dropping my kid off at that same school. My child went to the same kindergarten as Renee and Becca Good's child. It's a small school community that is devastated. I want to send my heart out to the school, but of course to the wife and kids of Renée Good. Nothing hits closer to home than it happening 6 blocks from your own house. Blocks from the school where your child went to school too. Renée Good is all of us, and we are all Renée Good. We are all people who have been coming out into our communities since ICE mobilized. We mobilized too. All of us have been pulling up in our cars, pulling out our whistles, looking out for our neighbors. We're doing the right thing. I have seen at least 3 separate accounts of ICE agents speaking to people since Renee's murder, saying, didn't you learn anything? Sick. What a shame. So I think we all learned a lot. We all learned how far ICE is willing to go. We also learned how far our own local city and state officials are not willing to go. We already knew Trump and no one were going to help us out, but this is our city, this is our state, and we need our local city and state officials to handle it. We don't want murders on our streets. We also don't want citizens arrested. We don't want cars left smashed up in the middle of the road when they abduct people. We don't want our high school students tear gassed at school. We don't want parents getting picked up when they drop their kids off at school. We don't want daycares targeted. We don't want ICE up in hospital emergency rooms collecting people out. All of this is shameful and disgusting and illegal. We are here to demand first and foremost the arrest of Renée Good's murderer, Jonathan Ross. And alongside that, we want to see our local, county, and state officials protect us. Do your job, and you stand between these armed federal thugs and our community members. Why are we doing that? Why are we out here unarmed with whistles? And where are you? They are nowhere to be seen, and it's costing lives. Of course, Renee was murdered. That's why we're here today. But we know dozens of people have been killed, in more than dozens, in ICE custody. Countless families have been separated, torn apart. We have civilians or citizens who are children being abducted from work at Target. What are we doing? Why are we accepting this? We're not. With our whistles and our picket signs and our cars, we're not. We're standing up and we're saying no. And we're here to demand that our elected officials and our public servants stand with us. They need to mind the gap, not be absent, not talk big. It's time to walk the walk and protect our people.
That's right.
Twin Cities Coalition stands in solidarity with anyone and everyone willing to stand up for accountability from law enforcement and to stand with families like that of Renée Good, or today specifically Marcus Golden, who was killed by St. Paul police 16 years ago on this day. 11 years ago, thank you. We are united from start to finish. We will not give up, we will not stop. And what I learned from what happened to Renee is that Minneapolis is the town I know, and our people will not stop. Thank you.
What was Jess's rallying cry to our local elected officials? Do your job. 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 Next, we will hear from Betty Folliard, president of ERA Minnesota. A lot of you know Betty from constantly being on the front lines, pushing for women's rights and for our labor to be recognized. Please welcome Betty Folliard.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Betty Folliard, founder of ERA Minnesota. I'm a mother, an auntie, a sister. I'm a grandma. And this coalition that we founded 15 years ago now is of thousands of Minnesotans all across the state working to embed an equal rights amendment into our state and federal constitutions. I want to thank Nakima and the Racial Justice Network for inviting me today to speak. So I'm going to make my delivery to certain segments here. The first are to the press. I'm not mad at you, just deeply disappointed that you don't dig deeper to uncover sexism and racism and misogyny and to call it out wherever it rears its ugly head, because women's lives are at stake, literally at stake. We are not satisfied. So to the press, I'm not mad at you, just deeply disappointed that when the ICE shooter clearly demonstrated his disdain, devaluation, and diminishment of an innocent, peaceful protester, Renee Good, that we heard crickets from you about the misogynistic nature of his crime. Renee was a mother, daughter, wife, and peace-loving poet, and simply standing up for her immigrant neighbors. And she deserves the full weight of the law in the prosecution of the ICE officer, Jonathan E. Ross. Ross shot Renee in the head, point blank, 3 times as she attempted to pull away, and then he spat out a sexist, misogynist trope and sauntered away from his diabolical deed. This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are or what trauma that you might have experienced in your life. You don't go around killing people. We're not satisfied. Start seeing sexism and misogyny everywhere it rears its ugly head. To Minnesota Attorney General Daniel Rosen, I'm not mad at you, just deeply disappointed that you continue to carry the water for a lawless, unjust administration. Read the room. 6 of your attorneys bailed on you because you denied PCA coordination while ordering your attorneys to do victim shaming A favorite tactic, long exercised in violence against women cases. We're not satisfied. It's time you resign from your position and take up some other field. No. Anything else. Back to the media. I'm not mad at you. Just disappointed that when Speaker Emeritus Melissa Hortman and her husband were brutally assassinated in their home, and Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were shot repeatedly in theirs, there was no mention in the news of the misogynistic nature of the assassins list that targeted dozens of victims. Let me just drill down in this. This list was immediately shared by a reporter right after the assassin's capture. If you would dig a little deeper, you would find that 3/4 of the homes that the assassin visited that night were of women leaders, and that 2/3 of the targeted names on the list were women leaders, although women only comprise about 1/3 of leaders in Minnesota. So we're not satisfied. Do the math. 2/3. Yet we're only 1/3 of representation. Do the math. Call out sexism and misogyny wherever it rears its ugly head. One more person I just want to speak to, and that's Speaker Demuth. I hope you hear this. I am not mad at you. I'm just deeply disappointed that as arguably the highest GOP member in the state government, you march in lockstep with sexist, misogynist federal regime perpetrating unchecked violence on the people of Minnesota.
That's right.
While running to become the CEO of this great state, you are a mother, a daughter, a grandma, and it behooves you to dig deeper, to draw upon your own lived experience of racism and sexism, even from members of your own GOP caucus that have called you Kamala Demuth, a sexist, misogynist, racist trope. Dig deeper. We are not satisfied. Start seeing sexism and call it out wherever you encounter it. I invite you to join us in the equal rights fight in this state. Finally, we stand with the Racial Justice Network in calling for the immediate arrest and charging of ICE agent Jonathan Ross for the end to federal political interference and for instituting real protections for women and mothers from ICE's federally sanctioned violence. I want to say I applaud Attorney General Keith Ellison and Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty for initiating a local and state accountability for Ross's actions. And I hearken back these words from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who quoted the book of Amos when he said, "No, we are not satisfied. And we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness is like a mighty stream." Thank you.
Thank you, Betty. Next, we'll hear from Ann Tracy from the Women's March of Minnesota. Let's welcome Ann.
Sorry, I've always got a couple jobs here. I'm Ann Tracy. I'm on the board of Women's March Minnesota. I also joined Betty with ERA Minnesota. I want to thank the women and the mothers behind me, the parents, the daughters, the children. It's been a week. We're out there doing mutual aid. We're out there protesting. We're out there activating. We are unpaid and we are on overtime. We're tired. We're everything else. I want to give a special nod to the folks on the front lines outside the Twin Cities. That's a different world. And they are getting more people there. They are getting more honks than ever. You can go to the Women's March Minnesota website, look at the calendar. We have probably 20 to 30 events happening almost every day. Got the wrong card here. Taylor's Falls, Sunday. Grand Marais is Monday. Chisago County, Thursday. Stillwater, Tuesday. And the list goes on and on. And if you're watching from rural Minnesota, I want you to take strength from these amazing people behind me. Take strength. Because if you're in a rural area, it might just be you. Even in St. Paul, I showed up. It was one person with a sign. That was enough to get the honks. Take strength from us. But also, we have to be doing more. If you're in those areas and you're not in the corner, why aren't you? Why aren't you? You're getting our newsletters, ours or somebody else's. You see what's going on. What's happening in Minneapolis now is going to happen in Duluth later, in Black Duck, in Stillwater, and then throughout the country. We're the test field. We're the test field. So make it harder for them to do. We need you, we need you to talk to your elected officials to get Jonathan Ross arrested.
That's right.
That is the foregone conclusion. We need you to talk to them about increasing security, increasing rights of women and mothers, parents, and students. Earlier today, I was at the St. Paul Central walkout. If those kids can do it, those kids were amazing. Now, being fair, they're better on the ice than I am, but we all hate the one kind of ice, you know, and they were there. We need to take strength from them as well. We need you in areas outside the Twin Cities especially to talk to your elected officials about ending funding for ICE. We are paying for this violence. We are paying for this, and we cannot do this anymore. And a special note to folks in rural areas, it is your job, it is your responsibility to educate your local city councils, your county commissions, your school boards to affect political and cultural change. That is your job, and we need for you to do it. You tell us how we can help. I'm telling you one way you can help us. With that, I'm just going to say, a united Minnesota is stronger, is better. Thank you.
Next, we're going to hear from Chelsea Miller, who was a witness to the aftermath of the killing of Renée Good. That's how we connected on social media. She was so outraged by what she witnessed, particularly from the Minneapolis Police Department. So again, they're talking tough talk on TV, and then behind the scenes, how are you aiding ICE or participating in what's going on? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Let's welcome Chelsea Miller.
Thank you for being here today, and thank you, Nikema, for organizing as you always do. On Tuesday, I wish it were yesterday, but it was the Tuesday before, I saw a call to action early in the morning that ICE was taking neighbors. I didn't have a plan. I didn't really have any intentions. I just knew I couldn't stay home. I just headed out. I went a few blocks, and right away I saw a group of people. I got out of my car and asked them what had happened, and they told me that ICE had just taken a woman who was 7 months pregnant from her job cooking right there. I'll spare you the details of what we did right then and after the rest of the day. After a long day in community, I went home, I went to bed, I woke up early, and I hit the door again, really without a plan. I drove up and down Lake Street. I saw other community members with whistles, and I just kept going. Turned on Cedar, and there I saw 6 SUVs pulling into Little Earth. I immediately started following them, and I jumped out of the car. I jumped out of the car because everybody there was Native American that I could see, and I thought, I have to get out of the car and say something. I did interfere with them detaining somebody, really just because I thought maybe they were Native American. Maybe the people didn't know about this community. Then my husband, who was in the car, did have an ICE agent pull out a gun on him. We got in the car and left. We didn't even really process that. We went right down Cedar, took a right on Lake Street, and then took a left on Portland, only to see all the emergency vehicles go by. We then stopped at, I think, 9:40 at 34th and Portland. So maybe about 10 minutes after Renee was shot. I didn't know what was going on. I just thought, I better get out of my car again. As soon as I got out of my car, I came upon a scene that I will never forget, and it was the Minneapolis Police Department arresting a woman, slamming her face against the hood of the police car, and she was screaming in terror. They just shot her. They just shot her. I started to videotape, and she actually screamed, "Don't videotape me," and I just turned away very quickly. I kept walking down the block. I saw maybe 6 or so people there. I didn't even ask what had been going on, but we got very close to the car Renee had been driving. It had crashed right there. They were putting on police tape as I got there. We stepped back. At some point, I found out that they said, I think ICE just shot someone in the head or the face. It was terrifying. The Minneapolis police then began immediately working on crowd control, moving us back. They kept re-putting the tape up and saying, you are tampering with an active crime scene. You cannot be here, threatening us with arrest, physically putting their hands on us and shoving us back. I was asking, where is the crime scene? Because we are here trying to videotape and trying to lay witness, and ICE is in there. That's what we've been called to do from our community. They kept making the crime scene go out and out and out, because the crime scene, the Minneapolis police were saying, was wherever we were. We were the crime. I'm asking our mayor and our police chief and our police department to opt in. Opt in to protecting community from those who are being terrorized and murdered, unarmed civilians, regardless of who is doing that terrorizing. I am opting in. I am able to. I have that choice, and I'm asking other white people to opt in. Do I feel afraid to speak out to try to help my Black and brown neighbors? I do. But I want to be clear. I will never be put in harm's way because of the color of my skin. And if I am harmed speaking out, I will not be forgotten. And that too is because the color of my skin. That's why opting in matters. On January 13th, there was an interview with Michael Barbero. He asked our chief, what is the first thing you thought of when you heard about the Good shooting? Our chief said that potentially this is 2020 all over again. He was just concerned about the destruction of our city. Let's be clear, state-sponsored murder is not a 2020 thing. What we are seeing here is state-sponsored slave catching, and it is old as this country is. Our police department cannot continue to put property over people. That's right. This country was founded on the murder of Indigenous people, and for centuries, the mechanisms of police and federal enforcement in the United States have been shaped by racialized control and gendered bodies. This was not an accident. It was explicit. What we are seeing again is state-sanctioned slave patrol. I am here to talk about violence against women, about the terrible murder of Renée Good, but I would be remiss if I did not name the systems that brought us here. I'm almost done. I believe that Renee understood she was opting in. I hope other white women can opt in, just as I believe Renee was doing that morning. Opt in to demanding justice for Renee and for all the other women of color who do encounter violence and murder much more than we do, and we may never hear their names.
Right.
We need to opt into listening to women of color without defensiveness, to understanding this nation's history and the place we have placed and the place we've played within it. Opting out is not neutral. Silence is harmful. Refusing to engage guarantees this violence will continue. As we grieve the loss of Renee, let's also grieve all the women of color who are terrorized and murdered in this country. We know that too often their voices are unheard and unnoticed. We must challenge ourselves to look deeper, to look and listen to the women of color, to uphold their voices and demand justice.
All right. That was powerful. Chelsea was so outraged after what she witnessed, especially by MPD, treating the protesters as if they were criminals, instead of trying to protect the protesters from those thugs called ICE. And like she said, they're like modern day slave patrols. If you look at Jonathan Ross's background, which has finally been put out in the media, and we made that demand, by the way, it was Black organizers and activists that demanded the release of the name of the officer who killed Renee Good. When we put out that demand, the Star Tribune responded by disclosing his name. Once his name was disclosed, that's how we found out that he actually lives in the state of Minnesota. And then we found out the fact that, some of these ICE agents are untrained, right? Some of them are bounty hunters. Some of them are random deputized white men. But if you look at the background of Jonathan Ross, he was actually very well trained. He had a history of being an Iraq War veteran. He also was a part of a joint task force with the FBI. He also was a border patrolman in Texas. And he was a firearms instructor and a person who operated machine guns. Think about that. These are the kind of killers that they have sent into our community. Shame! So that's why we're saying to Governor Walz and to Mayor Jacob Fry to do your job and protect residents of the city of Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota. What is the point of having so-called trained and armed police officers if when you have invaders coming into your community, wreaking harm, that you won't arrest them? Why do you have a job if you won't do your damn job? We pay your salary, not ICE, not the federal government. We know that there's this blue code of silence, and we know that they protect each other, but we pay their salaries, and we demand that they do their jobs. Do your job. 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 Absolutely. Next, we will hear from Titilayo Bidiako, a longtime leader in our community, an educator, executive director of We Win Institute, and the co-chair of our Education Justice Committee with the Racial Justice Network. Let's welcome Titilayo.
A few years ago, Nakima was selling this t-shirt that I have on. And it says, "Hatred is the new pandemic." Now, I was hoping by now that this t-shirt would be archaic and I would have to put it away. Little did I know that she would be so prophetic in terms of where we are today. And so I'm just very happy that RJN brought this press conference together in terms of calling and demanding for the arrest of Jonathan Ross. Yes. The murder of Renée Good is really personal to me. It happened on my block. And I want you to know that our neighborhood was, before all of this madness had happened, we actually were neighbors to each other. We actually supported each other. And now we have people called ICE and police that come around us and surround us and work very hard in terms of making us afraid. All of these instances are very personal. ICE came to the house of one of our families at We Win Institute. They broke down the door. The family asked if they had a warrant. They wouldn't answer, and they kept breaking down the door. And then they said, yes, they had a warrant, and they didn't. They kidnapped their father. And I do say kidnapped. This happened on Sunday. The family still does not know where their daddy is. Shameful. We have to do something. It's not accidental that Nekima asked the women to come out and stand up. When we want things to get done, who does it? The women. Are we scared sometimes? Yeah. No. Yeah, I am. And that's true. Nekima's not. I'm going to say that sometimes I am, but I'm still showing up. That's right. We have to show up. We don't have a choice. We have to show up. I mean, I was thinking, as you were talking, that we're in 2026 and we're still asking for rights for women? That's right. Why do we even have to ask for it? Exactly. Yes, we do demand it. And so what we demand here today is that we not stop as a community until we get what we need. That's right. You know, I was looking at the news, and I was looking at Iran, and I was looking at all the protesters and the tear gas and the shooting, and I heard your president, Trump, talking about the rights of protesters, and that if they kill protesters, that the United States is going to come and attack another country. Now, we have a president that's going to stand for the citizens of another country, but won't stand for the citizens of our country? Our city, Minneapolis, is under siege. Yes. We are under siege by our own government. That's right. But Nekima is right. We cannot be afraid. And again, even if we are, we still have to show up. And we still have to have a voice. That's right. I am calling on every citizen of Minnesota to stand up, take back our state, and call for the immediate arrest of Jonathan Ross. Enough is enough.
How many of our elected officials in the state of Minnesota have you heard call for the arrest of Jonathan Ross? Not a single one. Not a single one. It's not on their agenda to call for justice. Next, we'll hear from Cheryl Persigal, who is part of the Racial Justice Network, as well as the co-chair of our Education and Justice Committee. Let's welcome Cheryl.
Good afternoon. I'm here today as a member of the Racial Justice Network and also as a straight, white, Christian woman, as a mom, a daughter, a sister, a neighbor, and as a 45-year resident of Minneapolis to call for the immediate arrest of Jonathan Ross. And to call for full accountability in all law enforcement. And to call for protection for women. Yes. I first want to say that I firmly believe that this hateful, violent terror campaign we're living through that has been unleashed by the President of the United States on thousands of Black, Brown, and Indigenous people who call Minnesota home is blatantly racist and classist. I believe that first and foremost, what's happening here has nothing to do with safety and security, and it's about racism and white supremacy. That's what it's about. And now, I also want to talk about sexism. All right? Can we talk about it? Yes. All right. So what I'm talking about is an ingrained prejudice against women and girls in our culture. It is the inability and unwillingness of others to see and respect the full humanity of women, and it's another layer of unrestrained violence in Minnesota. All right. Okay, so let's connect the dots. Let's go all the way to the top and connect the dots. We have a commander-in-chief who has built his reputation on publicly and repeatedly belittling and demonizing any woman who dares to challenge him. Any woman who dares to challenge him. And he has a practice of allowing only a very select, small circle of women into his circle if they bow to his imaginary throne and if they submit themselves to physically distorting plastic surgeries that confirm what pleases him. You know who I'm talking about. You can think of 5 people right now, right? So, can we really be surprised when this wannabe emperor directs his DHS head, one of these physically contorting women, and submissive to his political will, to unleash thousands of men on our state, and yes, ICE is 85% men, with a mandate to sow chaos and exert power and control over anyone who gets in their way. And that power over, that sense of entitlement, that aggression is part of what hijacks the split second between an unarmed woman saying, "I'm not mad at you, I'm leaving," and 3 bullets to the face. Sexism, misogyny, hate hijacks the moment.
That's right.
Can we really be surprised? And this is the same hate that has hijacked and terrorized our Black, Brown, and Indigenous neighbors for centuries. This first and foremost is about racism and white supremacy. And it's about sexism. So white women, my people, my tribe. This is our time to name all the forces at play and step forward and lock arms with all who are oppressed, including ourselves. Please join me in standing up, speaking up, and showing up for Renee Good, for Becca Good, and for all the women in Minnesota. Thank you.
We have one final speaker, and then we will have a closing musical performance by Thomasina Petrus. Next, I'm going to call up Elena Martinez, who is a part of the Racial Justice Network. Please welcome her.
Thank you, Nekima. I've been around long enough to know that when Nekima asks you to stand up, you figure it out. I just want to, again, shout out the kids in St. Paul that did the walkout today. Some of us were out there with them, helping to keep them safe. I am so inspired by their bravery, the way that they came together, several different schools coming together, holding space and sharing the mic. It was definitely energizing. I'm going to keep this brief because everyone has said such powerful things, but something that's been on my mind and my heart is, you know, like many of you, I'm enjoying watching all the funny videos of ice on ice crime, where they're slipping around and falling and just making absolute fools of themselves. And I think that there is something to be said for heckling them, and they're clowns, right? We know that. But as a woman, and part of what we're here today is to call out the fact that as women, they're incredibly dangerous to us. We have a really lethal combination of white supremacy, bruised male egos, combined with weapons and immunity, and we have a huge problem on our hands. And as we see with Renee Good, they get to make these decisions and take lives when they want to. So while I am laughing along with you guys, and I want to keep recording them slipping all around Minnesota because clearly they're not from around here, I also want us to be vigilant and smart, and especially for women, stay together. I want to see more men protecting the women out in the streets, and I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody that's been out there so far. It's a marathon, and if we learn nothing from 2020, this is not just today, it's not just next week, it's not next month, it is a lifelong fight that we have to be prepared for. So what I will, a call out to everyone is to find a way to get involved, but get involved sustainably. There's a lot of organizations here today. Follow them, stay in tuned. If you did not know a week ago who to call, it's because you got a little too far away from the movement and you got to get back involved. So I will leave you with that. Thank you to everyone who's here today and organized this, and again, inspired today with just all the energy in the community, and that's it.
So for those who are here and those who are watching at home, Governor Walz's phone line should be flooded tomorrow, as well as his emails calling upon him to instruct Drew Evans to investigate the killing of Renee Good. We should also be calling on Governor Walz demanding the arrest of ICE agent Jonathan Ross. Period. He should be more worried about us than Donald Trump and Kristi Young. So with that, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out to be here today. You all have brought so much powerful energy. I know that Renee Good is smiling down upon us. I know we're sending love and positive energy to her family at such a devastating time. And we're providing hope to the people of Minnesota who care about justice and who want justice for Renee Good. So thank you all. So in closing, Thomasina Petrus is going to perform an original song called Your People Are My People. Let's welcome her once again.
Thank you. So I wrote this song about solidarity and community. And right now it feels like we're living in a state of madness. But we are not mad. We are angry. And we are activated. And that's what it means to be a community. Everybody, short, tall, long hair, short hair, no hair. Who cares? All we know is we need to be together, stick together, come together, and do what needs to be done. Because your people are my people, and your people are my people, and my people are your people, and together with all us people, we can do anything. Telling you, your people are my people, and my people are your people, and together with all us people, we can conquer anything. Now, today I may have a problem, tomorrow may be you. And no one can do everything, so just do what you can do. And when you need a hand to help open a new door, I'll come busting through and let you too. Cause that's what brings us on. Yeah, your people are my people, my people are your people. Together with all us people, we can solve anything. Telling you, your people are my people, my people are your people. Together with all us people, we can conquer anything. Now, today, I might have a problem. I might need your help today. Don't be worried, cause I got the back, they got the way. Don't be when you need a hand to open up the door. I'll come busting through with 1, 2. Oh, we got so many more. Your people are my people, my people are your people. Together with all us people, we can solve anything. Telling you, your people are my people, my people are shut up door. All together with all us people, we can solve anything. Oh, we can solve anything. I know we can fix anything. Oh yeah, we can do anything. Oh yeah. Now I'm singing it. I feel it. But do you feel it? Do you really feel like we can solve, do, conquer, push through anything? Because we can't do what we need to do if we don't believe that. Can I hear you say yeah? Yeah! Oh, y'all went for the run. Okay. Well, hey, everybody, put your hands together. There you go. The 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come on, we go. Now, I'm going to say, all people are my people, and you don't repeat after me. All right? Because this is the part where you put the part in audience participation. Okay? Here we go. Your people are my people. Say, your people are my people. Oh, your people are my people. Say, your people are my people. My people are your people. My people are your people. My people are your people. We can do it. Together with all our people, we can do anything. Now everybody say, your people are my people. My people are your people. Together with all our people, we can solve anything. Telling you, your people are my people. My people are your people. Together with all these beautiful people, we can solve anything. I know we can love you anything. I know we can fix anything. I know we can do anything. Yeah, we can do everything to love. Yeah, to always. We can do anything.
Thank you, Thomasina, for lifting our spirits and sending us out on a note of joy. The last thing we'll do is the Assata Shakur chant. That's what we do on the front lines. I know for some of you it's your first time, but now you're soldiers in the fight for justice. So repeat after me. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Last time, fists in the air. Think about justice for Renée Good. This last time. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. 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 All power to the people. All power to the people. God bless you and thank you.